Hi, I'm Sid Vegas, a little green man from Area 51, and with over 60 million light years of experience, I'm the world's foremost authority on coffee roasting. Today, we're going to talk about whether or not coffee can spoil or go bad. You know, nothing is better than waking up and smelling fresh coffee in your mug. More than 1 billion people agree, and with an average of 2 billion cups of coffee consumed daily, from espresso, instant coffee, and cold brew to simple black coffee, Americans alone drink 3 cups a day on average. And while so many of us worldwide love to drink brewed coffee, there needs to be some clarity around optimal coffee storage. Unfortunately, the confusion has lots of people asking me questions like, can coffee go bad? How long does coffee last? Uh-oh, is it safe to drink expired coffee? Well, you can never look at your coffee mug in suspicion again. Instead, in this video, you're going to learn the truth about coffee shelf life and discover how to properly store your coffee, either ground or whole beans, to keep them fresh and flavorful. Let's get right to it. Does coffee go bad? The short answer is yes, coffee can go bad. Now, some people may argue that coffee doesn't really go bad because expired coffee beans or ground coffee won't make you sick like if you were to eat other expired foods. Plus, most coffee comes with a quote-unquote best buy date and not an expiration date. That's because the United States Department of Agriculture considers coffee a shelf-stable food, so technically it can last until the next alien invasion. But if you've had the unfortunate experience of rancid coffee hitting your taste buds, then yes, you'll agree that coffee has an expiration date and can go bad. Coffee can go bad for lots of various reasons. It not only depends on the roast date and the type of coffee, but also depends on if it's been exposed to air, moisture, light, heat, or improper storage. These factors drastically cause the flavor and aroma to degrade and potentially start harboring bacteria. So, how long does coffee last? Without optimal storage, an open bag of ground coffee can keep peak freshness for around 2 weeks and still brew a tasteful morning cup of joe. An unopened bag of whole coffee beans can stay fresh for about the same time. A few weeks doesn't seem to be very long, right? But unfortunately, as soon as you open a bag of coffee, the clock starts ticking. How long your coffee will last depends on various flavors. First, the roasting date of the coffee. Coffee begins to rapidly lose its flavor soon after roasting, making it essential to consume within a few weeks before it tastes stale. That's why all of our coffee at Sid Vegas is roasted fresh to order. Second, the type of coffee. Ground coffee doesn't stay fresh as long as roasted coffee beans, exposed to more air, so it loses flavor faster. On the other hand, coffee pods or instant coffee can last well over a year as long as they remain sealed. Moisture exposure is another factor. Once water has touched your coffee or coffee beans, say goodbye. Moisture is harmful to coffee because once it's absorbed, the coffee loses its flavor and aroma. Additionally, moisture can lead to the growth of mold and bacteria. Light exposure is another issue. UV rays can cause the oils in coffee and coffee beans to break down, causing them to taste stale. Also, light can cause the coffee to dry out. And then finally, there's heat exposure. High temperatures can quickly ruin quality coffee because it speeds up the oxidation process, causing the oils in the coffee beans to break down and evaporate. This can lead to a loss of the subtle aromas and flavors that are responsible for the unique taste you love. Additionally, heat can cause the coffee to expand and lose its freshness. For a beverage so strong, who knew coffee could be so sensitive? But the good news for coffee lovers is that when you store your coffee the right way, you can drastically increase its shelf life, avoid stale coffee beans, and enjoy flavorful coffee for several months. My team will be doing lots of videos on coffee freshness, and that's a good reason for you to subscribe and check back with us often. Now we're going to dive into the proper storage methods for coffee, but before we do, let's look at some clues to look for if you're worried that maybe your coffee went bad. Here's how to tell. Let's get to the most obvious clue out of the way first. If you're drinking coffee that tastes funny or bitter, yep, that's probably old coffee in your mug that needs to be thrown out. There are several other signs that coffee has gone bad that don't involve a dreadful taste test. First, the coffee grounds may have changed color from a rich brown to a dull gray. That's bad. A loss of aroma or a change in the smell, such as a musty or sour odor. The presence of mold or other foreign particles in the coffee. Dampness or clumping, indicating that your coffee may have absorbed moisture. And even, it's possible to find pantry insects in your coffee. Yeah, don't drink that. If you notice any of those above things, it's best to simply throw the beans out and purchase some fresh beans or grounds. A general rule to live by is if you've had your coffee in your pantry for quite a while, like You don't remember when you bought it? It's probably a good idea to give it a toss. Now, technically, your coffee can still be safe to drink, even if it has lost some flavor and aroma, but who wants to drink coffee that isn't fresh, flavorful, and touches your soul with every sip? Now let's talk about proper storage methods of ground coffee and coffee beans. To ensure that your cup of coffee is fresh and delicious while guaranteeing a long shelf life, it's essential to follow the best tried and true methods for storing coffee. Here they are. Number 1, store it in an airtight container. An airtight seal prevents oxygen from entering the container and causing oxidation. Oxidation is the process by which oxygen reacts with coffee, resulting in a stale flavor and aroma. Additionally, an airtight container keeps out any outside odors that could be absorbed by the coffee and change its taste. Coffee vacs are a great way to store your coffee airtight, and I'll put a link to some good ones in the video description. Second, maintain a proper temperature. High temperatures encourage the growth of bacteria, while low temperatures can cause the essential oils in the beans to evaporate, robbing them of their flavor and aroma. To ensure that coffee grounds and coffee beans stay at peak freshness for as long as possible, maintain a temperature between 57 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Third, protect against humidity. Humidity control is also essential for long shelf life. When you store your coffee beans or your ground coffee, high humidity creates mold and bacteria, causing brewed coffee to be stale and flavorless. Some of the benefits of using an airtight container for your coffee in keeping it tightly sealed are it keeps humidity and moisture out, preventing mold and bacteria, and it also stops pantry bugs from worming their way in again. That's disgusting, even for an alien like me. Oxygen also can't get in, preventing oxidization or oils from driving out. What you have to remember, though, is that not all containers are the same. Choosing an airtight container that doesn't allow light exposure is also essential. For example, the coffee vac ones that I recommend in the video description are a great choice. Now a few extra tips and tricks for preserving coffee freshness. In addition to a quality airtight container, here's a few other tricks. 1, freeze your coffee carefully. Freezing coffee beans and grounds can help extend freshness, but only freeze them for short periods, because if not stored properly in the freezer, moisture will seep in and ruin your coffee. Use cool, dark storage. Again, light and heat can suck the life out of your coffee, so keep your beans and grounds someplace cool and dark, but also in an airtight container. Then the last one, buy your coffee in small batches. This can be hard, especially when your favorite brand is on sale, but coffee is ultimately at its best within the first 2 weeks after it's roasted. So if you want a guaranteed freshness, only buy your coffee beans and grounds in small batches from a roaster like Sid Vegas, who roasts fresh to order. Now that you know the truth about ensuring the optimal shelf life of your coffee, you can confidently enjoy a fresh cup any time of the year. And of course, if you want more coffee information and all the tea on coffee, be sure and give this video a like, subscribe to this channel, share it with your friends, and come back often for everything you ever wanted to know about the best coffee in the world.